Creek Nation, it's Coach Abell. You know the drill, weekly announcements. Let's get to it. Okay, first and foremost, this handsome, dapper gentleman here is James Malone. He is our football athlete, student athlete of the week. He will get lunch on me sometime this week. James, I'll get with you, buddy. But I received a bunch of compliments about him from teachers when I was making phone calls and when I was doing grade checks. And knowing him and his family, I think his grades, I think he would want his grades to be higher than what they are. But for me, they look great. A's and B's are always good for me. So I appreciate the effort, James. Keep up the good work, and we'll get lunch sometime this week. All right. Let's talk about the schedule. Monday, Froshmore game, arrival about 5:20. Varsity, we still have practice on Monday. Regular Monday practice 6 to 7:45. Tuesday and Thursday is as close to normal as possible. And that's the best part of this week is that since we're playing an out-of-county opponent, it looks like things might be relatively normal. Okay. But Tuesday, we're 6 to 8 o'clock for everybody. Friday, we'll talk about here in a moment. And then let's talk real briefly about Saturday. Saturdays are for our Froshmore practices. Our Froshmores don't get a whole lot of individual attention during the week because the game is always about the varsity game, the plan. So Froshmore practice is great. We get to actually give them the attention they deserve. So with that said, we think that Saturday morning practices are important. What varsity should be worried about are two things: their virtual film meetings and their body check and rehab. Body check is literally just that. It's, hey, I just played a Friday night football game. I was knocking heads for an hour and a half. I need to make sure that I have no injuries, and I need to rehab those injuries. That needs to be addressed with Miss Nicole on Friday night or Saturday morning before coming in. And we need to make sure we're there as close to 9 o'clock as we possibly can be. All right. Upon getting there, we'll get a workout in. You'll get treated, and you'll be sent home before we do any of our Zooms. Okay. Virtual meetings is a replacement for practice. And for you parents of juniors and seniors, you all know that we've always done Saturday practices. We've done film and body check. We can't let COVID prevent us from watching film and getting better where that's concerned. What I'm asking from you guys is that block, that hour and a half block in the mornings, that we leave it open for these guys to be on their Zoom meetings. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of guys that have missed for XYZ, and they wouldn't have missed if this was regular circumstances because they would be with us in person. So it's 45 minutes, and it's always productive. We show them their film. We talk to them about what they did great. We talk to them about what improvements they need to make, and it's a really, really important part of the football process to watch film. Okay. All right. Talk real quick about the Froshmore game. Tickets are sold as usual as they were last week. Kickoffs at 6:30. Players need to be there an hour, a little over an hour beforehand. There's no vouchers. Everything just must be completed online, the screening form and the GoFan ticketing. Okay. The varsity game. This is a 7:30 kickoff. Oldham County is at least a 30-minute drive for us. We're asking guys to be here at Fern Creek by 5 o'clock. They can be there earlier. Normally, I'm around by 3 or 3:30 those Fridays. Tickets are going to be sold a little differently. Since it's Oldham County, it's a different system for them. They're going to use a link called Hometown Ticketing. We don't have the link yet. It will be sent to you guys this week. When you guys get the link, you're going to be limited to 2 tickets. That's okay. Relax. You'll buy your 2 tickets between Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, they open it up for what they're calling general admission. And pretty much what it is whoever hasn't bought the allotted amount of tickets, those tickets will go back up to sale. So if you're someone that has a family of 4, buy your 2 tickets on Monday, turn around and buy your other additional 2 tickets on Wednesday. Okay. That link has not been sent out. It'll be sent to you guys as soon as we get it, which should be at the latest tomorrow evening. This is what that will look like. I've been told that you can either print it out at home if you have one, or you can just take a screenshot and they scan you in mobilely when you get to the stadium. All right, big announcement. Been talking about this for the last 2 weeks. At the closer we get to October, the less daylight we get. So we are moving practice back 30 minutes. We're going to move it up, I guess. We're going to start practice at 5:30. We'll end at 7:30. That's going to make sure that we are ending practice as it's getting dark. Okay, and this will likely have to take place again sometime down the road as we kind of creep into playoff time and we creep into that this daylight savings time. Okay, so let's make sure that we're working on these things. If you have any issues with this, if you guys are having issues trying to get here on time, needing me to call your boss and work out something in your schedule, let me know. All right. All right. Lastly, reminders and updates. NTI 2.0 grades are being checked. Quick note: I realized this the other day. Parents of freshmen and sophomore, we never got a chance to have that big preseason meeting that we always do. So you guys are probably unaware of this. I will always hold your kids to whatever standards you want academically. By rule, I can only truly hold them to the 1.8 GPA and not failing more than one class that is mandated by the state association. But if you come to me and say, Coach, I don't want my son playing if he has anything less than a 2.5 or a 3.0 or whatever, then we can work that out. Okay. We don't believe that holding kids out from practice needs to be the number one response. We want to work with you on this. We want to be partners with you guys in this in that avenue. Okay. So kid, if your son's not, cutting the mustard, so to speak, academically, let me know, and we'll go through a whole process before we get to the point of hey, you can't go to practice. Because that really, in our opinion, is detrimental not just to that player, but it's detrimental to the team too. There are things we can do that have worked for us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask a varsity parent because they'll probably back us up on that. Spiritware is in. If you have any issues, if it was a wrong order, please call directly to the NEF company. Since it was ordered through their website, they'll handle all that. Mask, the Gator mask that you guys saw on the sidelines at some point this week, we'll have a rep up here to sell those. It'll be $10. I'll let you guys know when it is, and if you guys want to buy them, you can. And we've even talked about maybe coming up to the next home game and having a little stand there for you guys to purchase them. Okay. Reminder about water bottles. Seeing guys coming in with small little 12-ounce bottles, and then there have been a couple instances this week where I've had to give a guy one of our real cheap plastic Gatorade bottles for practice. Just make sure that when you guys are dropping your kids off, if you could, just help us police that. We don't want that to become a thing or become a reason why a kid can't practice because he doesn't have his own water thing. Okay. All right. Again, since we didn't have a meeting, I know that for some of us, you all know me. You guys know how we operate at Fern Creek, but I wanted to address a few things. And the things that I'm addressing aren't necessarily issues. I just realized that I never discussed them with all of you guys, so I want to before they become issues. First and foremost, I have a couple of zero tolerance issues, and one of my policies is zero tolerance for thievery. I can't stand a thief. And if anyone is caught stealing from teammates at this time, okay, especially nowadays, right, with everything going on, they will be dismissed. All right. And we've unfortunately had to do that in years before, and it's painful. We don't want to do that. And then lastly, you guys heard my message last week. You guys know, I think where I stand on this. I know the tension is very, very high, and there are a lot of emotions out there, and a lot of those emotions that are out there that exist because of the Breonna Taylor situation. I probably don't have the right to feel those emotions, just because of who I am. But I want to tell you that we're being as understanding as we can be as a football staff, and I have a very diverse football staff. If guys are having a hard time processing those emotions, please encourage them to come to us, and we are having those same conversations. What we don't want to happen is have these guys lash out inappropriately because they don't know how to process it. We don't want guys to resort to violence or threats or anything like that, no matter what the circumstances are. We want to help them through this thing as best as we can. So you think your son's kind of going through some things emotionally, trying to process whatever's going on. Maybe he really cares about it, or maybe he's ambivalent and he's only focused on football and girls. I don't know. But whatever the case is, we encourage you guys to encourage your sons to come and talk to us. And we are having those difficult conversations one by one throughout the week. Okay. Lastly, COVID reminders. Unfortunately, because of the Breonna Taylor situation, the news is focused solely on that and the protest and all the things that you see associated with it. Well, our kids, even us as adults, we are out of sight, out of mind, right? So now that we don't see COVID as the number one report taking place on the news, it's in the back of our mind. And I've noticed this week that a lot of guys have struggled to adhere to those standards. We've had to remind them about all the COVID stuff. If we're having to remind them at practice, odds are you're going to have to remind them at home as well. Social distance, mask is on, don't share anything. The issue that we had with the individual from last week that you all had the memo about, luckily for us, he wasn't around any of the guys by the time he would show symptoms, so on. That young man got it because he wasn't doing the things at home that he should have. And it happens, mom knows and the son knows, and now we've learned our lesson. Hey, put your mask on, make sure we're staying, 6 feet apart, etc. Okay. Guys, that's all I got for you. Hope is greater than fear. I choose hope. Let's hope for a great week with minimal distractions and no issues. And let's go out there and beat Oldham County. Coach Abell out.